2024 Mitsubishi-Pajero-Sport vs Toyota Land Cruiser Prado 250-2024 comparison. Here's a breakdown of the 2024 Mitsubishi-Pajero-Sport and 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado 250 to help you decide which one might be a better fit for you. Off-road capability. Land Cruiser Prado reigns supreme here. It boasts standard all-wheel drive (AWD) and a proven reputation for tackling tough terrain. Pajero Sport offers capable AWD systems, but might not be quite as adept at handling extreme off-road situations as the Prado. Engine and performance. Land Cruiser Prado likely to have a larger engine, possibly around 2.8 L, compared to the Pajero Sports, possibly 2.4 L. This translates to more power for the Prado. Pajero Sport might offer a more fuel-efficient engine, especially if it comes with a turbocharged option. Size and interior space. Land Cruiser Prado generally bigger with more passenger and cargo room. Pajero Sport might be more maneuverable due to its smaller size, but may feel cramped for passengers and cargo on long trips. Technology and features. Both likely to offer a range of driver assistance and comfort features. However, Prado might have a slight edge due to Toyota's reputation for in-car tech. Price. Pajero Sport likely to be the more affordable option. Land Cruiser Prado might come with a steeper price tag due to its larger size, powerful engine, and brand reputation. Here are some additional factors to consider. Fuel economy. If fuel efficiency is a major concern, research the official ratings for both vehicles once they are available. Reliability. Both Toyota and Mitsubishi are known for reliable vehicles. However, Prado might have a slight edge due to its long-standing reputation for durability. Availability. It's still early 2024, so confirm if both these models are confirmed for launch in your region and when. Test driving both vehicles is the best way to determine which one suits your driving style and needs better. The current generation Mitsubishi Pajero Sport Off-Road 4x4 is getting towards the end of its run, with a new model set to appear soon based on the new Gen Triton. The current model, whilst not the last word in modernity, remains a popular offering among buyers after a family wagon built for off-road adventures and towing. As ever, the ladder-frame Pajero Sport competes with other rugged pickup-based SUVs such as the impressive new Ford Everest, the big-selling Isuzu MU-X, the left-of-center SsangYong Rexton, and the Toyota Fortuner and Prado. Mitsubishi has tinkered with the Pajero Sport regularly throughout its life cycle, with the latest example having minor updates made in April this year. At long last, Toyota has finally unveiled the all-new Land Cruiser Prado, which is dubbed the 250 series. According to the Japanese carmaker, a back-to-basics approach was taken when developing the light-duty model in order to create a simple and sturdy vehicle that can be trusted by customers to fulfill their lifestyle choices and practical needs. Now built on the GAF version of the Toyota New Global Architecture (TNGA), the Prado shares its platform with the 300 series Land Cruiser as well as the latest Lexus GX and LX. As such, the Prado improves upon the previous model with a 50% increase in frame rigidity and a 30% increase in overall rigidity. The latest Pajero Sport gains features such as a tire pressure monitoring system and new color options, including the Brash Impulse Blue Metallic on our test vehicle. It's amazing what a difference some new paint makes. Almost enough to make the somewhat awkward-looking Mitsubishi a head-turner. Toyota also claims better basic suspension performance with improved wheel articulation, and the Prado will use a double wishbones at the front with twin-tube shocks and a multi-link rear with coil springs. The shift to electric power steering is a first for the Prado, as is the use of the stabilizer disconnect mechanism (SDM) that enables the front stabilizer state to be changed via a switch to deliver driving performance and ride comfort when off-road and handling stability when on-road. Multi-terrain monitor and multi-terrain select are other systems that help when traversing rough terrain. We're driving what is probably the pick of the Pajero Sport lineup, the mid-range GLS variant. This version sits a rung above the base GLX and below the Exceed and GSR. The value equation isn't too bad in context. A Pajero Sport GLS is about $6,000 cheaper than a mid-range Isuzu MU-X LSU and about $10,000 cheaper than a mid-range Ford Everest Trend at RRP. The new Prado is also a much larger vehicle when compared to its predecessor, measuring in at 4,925 mm long, plus 100 mm, 1,980 mm wide, plus 95 mm, 1,870 mm tall, plus 20 mm, and with a wheelbase of 2,850 mm, plus 16 mm. It should be pointed out that the Prado's wheelbase is identical to the 300 series Land Cruiser, GX and LX, while its length and width are within range of the first two models listed for comparison. Historically, the Prado has been smaller than the full-sized Land Cruiser, but the redesigned model minimizes the differentiation in size. The Pajero Sport's shared lineage with the Triton is fairly obvious on the inside, with plenty of utilitarian trims used on the doors and dash. However, the build quality or fit and finish is tough to fault. Mitsubishi has livened up the ambience with padding on the transmission tunnel, soft leather-like trim on the doors and console lid, silver and glossy black inserts, the latter a magnet for scratches and glare, and a very fetching leather-wrapped steering wheel with sensible button controls and chunky paddle shifters. It's more workhorse chic than deluxe family SUV, but consider the target buyer and consider this vehicle's true off-road capability. The larger footprint is important for the North American market, which the Prado will enter for the first time. In that region, it will simply be called the Land Cruiser, no Prado, and serves to replace the 200 series Land Cruiser that was discontinued in 2021. The Prado will also be sold in Europe. Deliveries in all regions are scheduled to commence in 2024. Design-wise, the Prado bears a strong resemblance to the GX with its boxy, angular shape that features strong wheel arches, a stepped belt line, thin pillars, and raised bonnet. The 250 series gets two front ends, with the first being inspired by the 70 series and featuring circular headlamps and turn signals at the edges. The Pajero Sport, from the nicely padded powered leather driver's seat, optional as detailed below, you're presented with both rake and reach wheel adjustment and a simple cluster of analog gauges and a small trip data readout, but no digital speed display. The Prado other option has a more modern aesthetic with slimmer, angular headlamps, although both versions get the same rectangular grille, skid plate, and square-themed mesh over the intakes. Progressing down the sides, the similarities continue with large side mirrors and black body cladding, although the retro-inspired option gains roof rails and side steps. For the rear, both have the same taillight design and a skid plate located just under a ruggedized boot lip. Pajero Sport, above your right knee is the starter button, and you'll notice the OEM-fitted Red Arc trailer brake controller. To your left you'll see an 8.0-inch touchscreen with a trailer and parking-friendly surround view camera, plus wired Apple CarPlay/Android Auto and conventional satellite navigation. The interior design is standardized for the 250 series regardless of the face you prefer. Toyota says visibility was improved by implementing a low-set cowl and instrument panel top surface, the low beltline and a shorter mirror-to-mirror width. Pajero Sport, the home menu's tiles are very simple to operate. It doesn't feel particularly new or flashy in terms of user experience or processing inputs, but honestly it does the job just fine. It needs to be said, though, that the Ford Everest's multimedia system is faster, more capable, and designed for regular updates. Below the climate controls with a 90s style orange font, hey, there's no ambiguity, are two USB ports, a 12V socket, and oddly enough an HDMI input. There's also a button to switch on the diff lock. The Prado. From the driver's seat, controls are easily accessed and intuitive to use, with the company opting not to squeeze everything into the wide touchscreen that sits on the dashboard. As such, there are dedicated physical buttons and dials for the 3-zone climate system, drive modes, 4-wheel drive system and media playback. Pajero Sport. The back seats are trimmed in really nice leather as per the front and offer plenty of underthigh support. Amenities include roof-mounted AC vents and grab handles, rear USB ports, for in the cabin all up, and a handy 220V power socket. Plus there are pockets in each seat back and a flip-down armrest with cup holders. The Prado driver will also be gripping a chunky steering wheel and peering into a digital instrument cluster. The Prado will come with the Toyota SafetySense suite of advanced driver assistance systems as standard as well as 3 rows of seats. As for powertrains, 5 options are available for the 250 series Land Cruiser Prado depending on the market it is sold in. For North America and China, the off-road SUV is powered by a hybridized T24 AFTS 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine with 330 PS, 326 horsepower or 243 kilowatts, and 630 Nm of torque, mated to an 8-speed direct shift ADAT. Pajero-Sport. Sturdy grab handles on the B-pillars and side steps make clambering easier, and there's space for 2 adults of most heights, or 3 kids. It's on the narrow side, however, and the elevated seat height means headroom is a bit tight for taller folk like myself, 193 centimeters or 6 feet 4. The third row of seats is handy to have for emergencies, but to be honest they're best used by kids only. The sporty design also means those rear windows are narrow and not the easiest to see out of. The seats do fold down into the floor when not in use, though, as the pictures show, not quite as neatly as in many SUVs. The Prado, in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and selected markets, the engine is a non-hybridized T24 AFTS making 281 PS, 278 horsepower or 207 kilowatts, and 430 Nm, also with a direct shift ADAT. Next up, Australia and Western Europe gets a 1GD FTV 2.8-liter inline-4 turbo diesel with a 48-volt mild hybrid system that is rated at 204 PS, 201 horsepower or 150 kilowatts, and 500 Nm, again, with a direct shift ADAT. This setup is particularly important, as it could also feature in the Hilux next year. Western Europe also gets the 1GD FTV without the mild hybrid system, but retaining the direct shift ADAT and identical outputs, with this combination also applicable to Eastern Europe, Japan, Middle East, and other selected markets. The last engine on the list is the 2TRFE 2.7-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder petrol with 163 PS, 161 horsepower or 120 kilowatts, and 246 Nm. This mill is for Eastern Europe, Japan, and other unnamed markets, paired with a 6-speed Super ECT automatic gearbox.